Good afternoon. My name is Basie, and I am a sophomore in construction engineering and management here at Purdue University. Today, I will be telling you about my experience working for Clark Construction Group during the summer of 2019 from May to August. First, I will tell you a little bit about the history of Clark Construction. Clark Construction is a general contractor founded in 1906. The company has an annual revenue of $5 billion and employs over 4,000 employees, in addition to over 100 interns across the country each year. The company also runs hundreds of projects throughout the nation. These projects range from heavy civil, office, retail, and residential buildings, stadiums, and many more. This summer, I worked under a project engineer on the Dulles Metrorail Silver Line project during Phase 2. This project moved from the concept phase to the reality phase because the project finished Phase 1, where it was required to extend the Silver Line by 6 stations. For Phase 2, the project extended it 6 more stations into Loudoun and Fairfax counties in Virginia. This project was a joint venture between Clark Construction and Kiewit Corporation to form the general contracting group, Capital Rail Contractors. My specific responsibility this summer was to work on getting complete 28 escalator units and 31 elevator units. I was responsible for helping each of these units pass inspections, as well as their elevator machine rooms and escalator control rooms. This image on my left here is a picture of the escalator control room. However, you can see this unit does not have these wires tied off. Without these wires tied off, it is impossible for this unit to pass an inspection. So it was my responsibility to go on site to each of the different stations, of which there were 6, and look in each escalator and elevator control room the days before the inspection. Looking at these units, I would then mark down the problems on the problem sheet and report it to my project engineer. Between the two of us, we would send each of these problem sheets to the subcontractors, Schindler and TMA, and each of these subcontractors would be responsible for improving things inside the escalator and elevator control units. On top of visiting sites to check out escalator and elevator control units prior to inspections, I was responsible for being present during inspections and making note of the results of the inspections for my own engineer's personal benefit. As you can see in this picture, there's a third-party inspector who shows up to fill out their own sheet to make sure the inspections are following plan. However, on the right side of the screen, you can see my own personal sheet to make sure the units were passing the inspection. I was responsible for checking off that each of the units met requirements such as stopping when certain emergency brakes were tripped and running at specific speeds that were supposed to keep it safe for everyone. In addition to these inspections, I did a lot of other things for both my project and for Clark Construction as overall. In the left image, you can see a picture of the materials I procured one day before an inspection. These are aluminum studs that were required to be installed in the elevator control shaft so that the elevator was secure and could pass the inspection. The inspector came by the first time, saw that this was a problem and needed to be installed, and my project engineer gave me the specific task of going to a supplier and finding these materials. On the right, you can see a project that I completed for all of Clark Construction. I was working with 5 other interns across various projects on a virtual reality safety game. This game was thought of by the company to improve safety training so that each employee would be safer on the project sites they're working on. I worked with each of these individuals and presented this presentation to the entire executive board of Clark Construction at the end of the summer. Throughout this experience, I learned how to give professional presentations in front of an executive board and think of creative ways to make safety training interesting for all of the employees. Other things I learned this summer were how to complete RFIs and submittals, how to schedule and run through final inspections, how to procure materials for a project, and how to procure materials for a project. I will say my greatest triumph was when I found the materials for a project because I was given very limited instruction of what to get. I was just told to procure aluminum studs for a project, 400 feet of them. Thank you for listening to my presentation. I hope you learned a lot about what I did this past summer.